story and hopefully put some more in. And what Christina wants to do is take the gift bags now that she has and put maybe a mini that they can put on their nightstand. And what else, honey? Maybe, what else were you thinking?
Maybe a mini, a cup of cards.
Cards, since they're away. And what we want to do is be able to give them to all 40 patients. And right now we can't do that till we get a sponsor. So we'll probably start with like 5 next week and they want to do a raffle. And then hopefully we'll find a sponsor in the near future. I guess there's 2 other, it's called AstraZeneca, Hope Lodge. The other 2 are small, another one in Massachusetts somewhere and another one I think in Vermont. And I think they have such a waiting list here now that they're hoping to build another. The other thing that Christina has spent so much time doing the last few months is that space we had. He thought he had it for 2 more months and found out like in a day or 2 before we left for Michigan that he didn't, and it was up. His lease was actually up. So we spent the summer putting all of those guest books together as a mailing list. And we had always hoped someday that we could pay rent, which we certainly hadn't before that. And so Christina, since about mid-November through December, raised about $9,000. So that covers right now about 4 months of rent. It's very expensive there, even though it's not on Beacon, it's down the walkway. But we finally realized there's nowhere else to go really because so many people know her there, and they come in to spend time, not to just buy something. They spend a lot of time in there as her mission, making people feel better, feeling comforted, warmth, happiness. I guess a lot of the things that Laura said, huh? So we're working on it really hard. So if you know of anyone or anything that, companies or anything that you think can help, I guess there's so many stories and we don't have time to do all of that, but please ask us, let's take 10 minutes and ask Christina anything you'd like, or...
This will be right up like a town meeting.
Oh, a town meeting, oh, I like that.
Anyway.
I see some familiar faces from before. Yeah, Jack, he's a wonderful person, by the way, everybody.
I just want to, on a personal note, tell you how my involvement with the Dynamic Duo started.
It's a new one.
I was waiting for my car to be brought up in the valet parking at the Brigham here, and waiting in line also were the 2 young ladies with the auras. And just the first thing that struck me as I was waiting was the brilliant smile that Christina had, and it just totally melted whatever problems I had. Thinking back to it. And I honestly thought she was about 12. This is about 5 years ago. So but then I was told by her that she was 22. So the love affair started then. We exchanged business cards, and I promptly lost hers. So fortunately, I did bump into them again about 6 months later. And I apologize for not contacting her. I left it to my absent-mindedness, which was, the excuse was readily accepted. So we exchanged cards again. And, it left me with such a warm spot in my heart, because I said to myself, here's a young lady who has her own problems and a plate full of them, but she finds a way to devote her time to helping others in a very tremendously selfless act. So how do I show her my gratitude? Well, I called her one day and I said, now Christina, I don't want you to get the wrong impression, but I'm getting this dog shipped in from Indiana. It's a Newfoundland, and I'd like to name him after you. So I didn't know she was going to be an irate, She said, I'd love that. That would be terrific. And Thanksgiving, she was able to see her namesake, who was a terror. but that's the impression she left with me, and just everything else I see and read is just, I've never met two more grateful people, and it's the people that she helps that should be grateful. We had Thanksgiving dinner together with my family. She brought nice little gifts, gift cards for everyone in the family. And, it's truly a blessing to me. People I've talked to about it, they're very special people. You don't find them every day in life. I'm just thankful I'm part of that. Thank you.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.
And that's why we're so lucky being here, because we feel we have family now with everybody we meet just about, and we do. Like Jack calling and saying, would you like to spend Thanksgiving with us? Because you're looking at our family pretty much, and my mom, back in Michigan. But in Carolyn, we just met not all that long ago, huh, Carolyn? And she's helping. That's why you see that book. And I'm sure she's thought of it many times. I have a head injury, and at times, oh boy. And so Carolyn, if she looks in the back of that book, she'll see about 3 sets of notes that are equally, 11, 12 pages. I'm telling you, it's awful. It's really awful. And Carolyn's trying to help us, right? And finally we just said, you know what, we just have to talk because it won't work that way. And so I think that's probably the way we'll always do it, right, Carolyn? But people are so gracious to help us, and we need the help. I mean, to keep up what Christina's doing now has become way more than I can even imagine to do. I try really hard, and we do it every day. It seems all day, but it's getting way out of our control. So thank goodness there are so many new volunteers. And there are so many different types of jobs. So if anybody's interested, believe me, we have all kinds. Ones that you don't like to do at all, but ones you may like to do. So just keep in mind. And you know what? There are people like one lady who came not long ago. And she said, I've been looking 6 years. I just wanted to volunteer somewhere. She said, I've been looking 6 years for something. And she had some special needs of her own. And she thanked Christina so much because she said she feels at home and that she knows there are lots of things she can't do, but she just loves to be there. And there are things that we have found she can do. So thank you for taking the time to come today. Yes?
If you don't mind, I just want to say, my name is Jessica. I'm a social worker. Thank you. So I'm a social worker here at Brigham, and I cover some places here on an outpatient basis and also at 850.
Yeah.
And I don't quite remember how long ago it was. Probably a month, maybe 2. I don't know, they kind of blend.
I hear you, yeah.
But I remember it was in the middle of the day, and I was over at 850 going between practices. And I think you had kind of a display set up.
And Christina does. We do that next week again, too.
It was beautiful. I mean, despite, you get caught up in a busy schedule of the day, I had to stop to look. It was just colors, and it was so bright. It just pulls you right in. And it was actually a nice kind of break for me. I couldn't pick up anything. I didn't have my wallet on me because I was going between floors, but it was stunning. And, it was just, I appreciated that so much. And I just wanted to say thank you. I really did, Christina. This is wonderful. This whole time I've been sitting here, I feel like I've gone through a little wave of emotions where I've been, pulling on the heartstrings a little bit, listening to things, and then smiling at others. And, I really appreciate what you do. So thank you.
Thank you, too. And sometimes I almost feel guilty because, don't we, Christina? I'm not sure who gets the most out of all of this, us or other people, but I guess that's the beauty, right, Jack? It goes both ways, always. And believe me, we cry with a lot of the stories that we have, and it's hard when we lose them because we are losing a lot of people we meet. I mean, unfortunately not too many yet, but here. But it's happening without a doubt, and we did a lot at a retirement home first before we came here, and about, 4 years at least.
Mhm.
So you can imagine, we lost
Yeah.
all of them. But the last one just died about 2 weeks before we got home last summer. She was 100, right, honey?
Yeah.
And on the table, we have something we even did for her. At 100 years old, she one day said, let's see, how did she put it?
You
You
never know what it's like to be 100 until you get there.
until you get there.
Yeah.
And when she said that, she was kind of angry because at the home she was in, she felt nobody was helping her, right? And what we did is put it on a little label. And she was making butterflies out of paper squares. And we're going to keep that up somehow now and give them as gifts when people donate or whatever. But we put that quote down because I just thought that was such a special quote. And I guess what I wanted people to realize is even at 100, there was a very useful purpose in her life. Yeah. And
She's making,
some are real big and some are little.
this is like a page from a magazine.
Yeah, that's what she did.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's what she was
I
doing, to
know.
keep busy and active.
Mhm.
But there it is.
Yeah.
Pretty?
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's almost
Almost one,
It's
so we
almost
want to
one.
make sure to
You're
all
gonna
the
pick the best.
on time, and we have the raffle, yeah.
Oh,
So
that's
it's
right.
like
You got the raffle. And how many?
And so we have it,
Let's
and
do.
this is a little funny, but, you know,